but let me go check everything, make sure everything's all right. Whew. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a year now since we. Today was the day we became friends on Facebook.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a coincidence. I posted it because I got that message from Facebook, so I.
Are
Put
you
it on
kidding?
Facebook.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that. I I didn't know that. So that means that's probably when we did the first show.
yeah, probably. Yeah, so
Because
that's a year
we probably
ago.
did about, I think we did probably 15 shows.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so amazing, man.
Wow. So it's been 1 year. So
Yeah.
where was I a year ago? A year ago? Yeah, I can't even think. What was a year ago?
Um,
What
you
month is this?
were. It was right before you went
Hmm.
to the Florida.
Oh, I was right before I went to Florida.
Yeah,
I was in
in
yeah.
the pyramid you've been.
Yeah. Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah, what a
I,
story, yeah.
I kept calling it a teepee and I insulted him.
Oh, was a holy pyramid, eh?
Man, it was holy. I fasted for 3 days. I've never fasted for 3 days in my life, and
Yeah.
I lived in it for 9 days. But I had all these, you know, they say we create everything,
Yeah.
and that guy he built that thing,
Yeah.
and I mean he built it like to the T. Like there was 72 spikes at the bottom, or
Okay.
everything was like, and then but I knew when I went in there it was made for me. Like, and he didn't even think I could stay in the pyramid for more than 2-3 days.
Yeah, you slept in it also,
Yeah,
I can remember.
I lived in it for 9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. So, all right, man. Soul Speaks 5D. Henk Verhaaren's back with us. We started this 1 year ago. This is probably 15 shows we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and then you had originally written the book Global Awakening,
Yes.
Master of Destruction, and then you've written another book now, right?
Yeah, but it's not out yet. So, but because it's not really finished.
Well,
So I was so busy since then.
so what's it what's it called? What's it going to be called?
Yeah, it's going to call Global Awakening, the next step in human evolution,
Oh
and
yeah,
that is
yeah.
part three of the series. So part two. Sorry,
Part
yeah,
two.
part
Part
two.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
yeah, and everybody out there, welcome to the show. And if these shows resonate with you, please share.
Ah, we're
Uh,
already on now.
oh yeah, yeah, we're on.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on. We've been on for a little while. There's 34 people now.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Now I see it. Yes.
So yeah, man, I've been watching these posts. I really don't get on too much, but
No.
I see your posts because they stand out. Like
Ah,
the one
yeah.
like the one I use for the post. They're interesting. I like them. They make you think. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's a
yeah.
good try
So
sometimes to make
so
people
you
think.
get someone to take the pictures and then you come up with the words.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
I noticed you were in Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Because I wrote a few books before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and there is a book coming out in because my brother is a swimming coach from
yeah,
the Australian team now.
yeah,
Yeah, from all the coaches, and yeah, I already wrote that book in Dutch, and it sold very good. It's about how to apply techniques for sporters for businesses. It's sort of a management book,
wow. And
and yeah, so it's going to be translated to English, and then yeah, we'll
wow,
see what happens. Yeah, he's
very
very
cool.
famous. He's more famous than me, my brother,
Oh
Jaco.
yeah, and
He's called.
does he live in Australia?
Yeah, he's living in Australia now for I think 8 years.
Where does he live?
He
Sydney?
lives on the Gold Coast.
On the Gold Coast, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. So he's
yeah,
wow, that's crazy. All right. So yeah, so I haven't talked to you. We haven't talked in a while. We tried to do a show that one day and your sound
yeah.
wasn't
There
working.
was no sound, eh?
Yeah. Uh
Yeah.
so how's it been going lately, man? I mean that solstice on the 21st and
Oh yeah, the solstice
then
on the 21st. I did mushroom ceremony.
oh yeah, you did
Yeah,
mushroom
with
psilocybin.
truffles.
With what?
So truffles, that is the root of the mushroom, and they are still legal in Holland. So, but it's the same effect with psilocybin.
Yeah, psilocybin. Yeah,
Psilocybin, yes,
yeah.
and yeah, it was really great because
So
I
how,
did that a long time ago, and
yeah,
but many people ask me to do that as another ceremony because I did that with ayahuasca. I
yeah.
organized it with my ex-wife, and but she is doing that with me now too, on a new spot in a yurt. In yeah, so it's really a
So
nice.
you did mushrooms on the solstice.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So did you do it by yourself or with a group of people?
With a group of people. Yeah, there were 12 people, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, we made some music, and
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it was
cool, man.
yeah, and Annette joined in.
Oh, she did.
Yes, but she is very afraid because she's a control freak. So I was a bit
You
worried
can
because
you
yeah,
can't be a control freak when you take mushrooms.
no. So
Yeah,
she was sitting at a certain moment. I want this to stop. I want it to stop. And I said, maybe I put my arm around you. If you do that, I'm gonna hit you. She said. And then she said, I'm going home. I'm going to drive. But I already took the car
the
keys of
keys.
all the
Yeah.
people. So
So did she relax finally or what?
yeah, finally she relaxed. But she was very irritated by the music. It was all
Uh-huh.
spiritual music. So she put on her own headset. And I thought, yeah, just let her go. And then there was a line in a certain song she heard, and it said, "What you want is beyond your fear." And suddenly, that, yeah, then it really hit her the meaning of that,
Yeah, yeah,
because that fear was always holding her back.
yeah.
And afterwards, she said she's been through a hell, but it was a very healing experience for her.
Oh,
And
she
yeah.
enjoyed it, huh?
Not at
Yeah.
the
So
moment, but afterwards, she did it. She
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Well, when it first hits you, it hits your whole body, your whole
Yeah,
body gets hit, and then you're like sitting back. But yeah, but it's good to do it with and that's a good number. 12 people, that's a good number to do it with.
yeah, because
So
you can't
what?
do it with too much people. Then people are
Yeah,
crying, people are laughing, people are screaming, and
yeah.
before you know it,
I
yeah,
usually I usually just go off somewhere by myself and go for a walk.
yes, that's what I also like
Yeah.
to do that on my own. But now I
So
understand why it's important to have, for some people, to have some guidance, because they cannot get,
yeah,
once they're
yeah,
in the negative spiral and they're
yeah,
resisting it, they're going through a
yeah,
hell. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
you gotta let it
yeah,
go.
it's always better to do it with people. I did ayahuasca twice by myself, and I would not recommend that with anybody
No,
at all. No, 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 no,
no.
no, no. But anyway, so how was yours? How did you have any revelations or epiphanies or breakthroughs?
Yeah, it's still going on. I'm going through deeper levels, and
Yeah,
I still I'm finding some things inside myself. I
yeah,
observe, and because out of events that happen in my life, and then, but I also see how I reacted on that from my older state of being. So a lot of stress, and but now I can uh, relevate. How do you call that? Relevate, to make it, to see it not so so big or important, and I let it go, and then
yeah,
it comes back again. So
yeah.
yeah, so that's good.
And yeah, and so a lot of people were talking about too this first part of January, first part of the year. People
Yeah,
were
it was a
talking
very
about that.
tough period.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a partial solar eclipse on the new moon, which was like the 6th. There's a red blood eclipse, wolf moon on the 21st,
Of
and then there's like
January or February. So
January. Right
in
now, right now, right
in
now,
five
right now,
days.
we're in between. Yeah, but we're in between. It seems like a lot of people are talking about this period from the 6th to the 21st. It's just there's been a lot of things come to the surface and stuff like that.
Yes, I
Have
noticed
you
that.
been? And it sounds like you've been going through that.
Yes,
You
yes,
said
yes.
you did the shrooms on the 21st of December, and you're still You're still coming to working through it.
It seems like a very dark period in that, with a lot of testing, as if the universe made some sort of test to see if I could stay honest to myself, or if I could make the right choice. And there was a lot of pressure, and but yeah, I think I got through. But it's always that. It's always that you think from it's an illusion. Everything is going to be fine. The universe will carry me, and just have to trust. But the test is always that there is some sort of doubt created. And then and that's how to deal with that. It's more than how to deal with it. Then if you can for yourself choose to stay relaxed, and that always works better than panicking or stressing or
So how do you deal with it when the doubt hits?
I just look at my mind, and I see the worrying thoughts, and it tries to grip me, because it's the ego that tries to take care of me, or defend me, or make me doing some action or some things. But I'm seeing that are the patterns that are limiting me. So I just don't act on it. And then at least I try that. Sometimes
sometimes you still do.
It. Yeah. But and then then I always take some time back. I pull myself back and observe it, and then the answers come sort of automatically. And the solutions, and
Do you feel like that there's been a clearing, like a purging, or a clearing, more of a clearing energy in this year?
So it's also been very chaotic, also worldwide. I think globally, politically, and a lot of people are, because of that, awakening, and because of that they start to think. And what I worry a little bit about is about that people always look for an enemy outside themselves to put the guilt on, and that mechanism is still very strong in this society.
Are you talking about in Holland? Or are you talking about on a personal level with people in general?
No, it's more in Holland, of course. I see that, and I see that also globally, I think, because there's a lot of you see the old powers of the media are trying to take control back over the social media, and over they're trying to censor things. And that's a sad thing.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think there is. Well, I mean, in Soulogy is a little into the world. We've gone through some of that, but it seems to have lifted a little bit. So I don't know how much of it is in the physical apparatus of the media, or whatever controls the media, or how much of it is just energetic, and we're controlling it.
That's right.
That's why I was wondering about what you were saying, because on one hand you're saying there's a lot of chaos, which is true. I'm not saying there's not. But I think what you said was that as a result of that, it's awakening more people.
That's right. But it's important that we stay connected, and the World Wide Web is, of course, very good to connect people, and we want to keep that. And this is a free space where people can say the things that they want, and if we don't agree, we say something back to make them understand that what they say is not how we see it, and then we learn from each other. But now, I think they want to control that, because of course the people don't read newspapers anymore so much. The people don't watch TV anymore so much. and who controls the media controls the people. So,
Well,
but
that's
yeah,
but there's so much individual expression in social media. It's
yes,
beyond. It's very difficult to control all of it.
that's
You know,
right.
we got
Because
I ran 4 hour tapes of 6 minute snippets from interviews, three
yeah,
hours or 4 hours, 3 days in a row on YouTube, and they were just conversations like this, and they sent me a strike. And
yeah,
they told me don't do that, and or we're gonna take your channel off. And I said, well, why? What was the reason?
yeah,
They said content, but the thing is, it went away, and the thing is, there's so many people out there that are individual or group expressions that there's just too many. There's billions of people putting stuff
yes,
out there.
yeah,
Sometimes I wonder, I go into people's profiles, especially when they come into the Soulogy group, because we're getting a lot of spam and fake accounts. So
yeah,
I go in and look at the people when I have time, and I look at the groups that they're in, and it's really interesting to see the diversity of the types of people that are in what we call light keeper, light worker groups,
yes.
and their other interests. I think it's a lot. I think the awakening awareness and presence is a lot bigger than we think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, it's unstoppable now. So the shift is going to be made, of course.
Now, what about your? We talked a lot last year when we got together. We talked a lot about the masculine journey,
Yes.
and you were very frank and very honest and raw about everything that you were going through. It was actually very funny.
Yeah.
but how's that part of it going for you?
Yeah, but also on that part, the masculine is also made by some people in the media as the enemy, the dictator, the tyrant, the. But I think that is not the case. Of course, there are cases of when people take too much control or power, but it's always a matter of rebalancing it. And I think everyone is individually responsible for that.
Yeah,
So that's also a bit, but that's also depending on the what you read or what you see, or of course what you worry about, you see reflected in the media because you're looking for that, and that's also the danger of the algorithm. How do you call that?
yeah, yeah.
Algorithm, that
Algorithm.
they decide for us what we see.
Yeah,
And but
yeah,
if you are going to listen to that too much, then the fear could take over, and then you create another enemy about somebody who's controlling something that is
yeah,
uncontrollable anyway, like you said.
yeah.
So
Well, like you
yeah,
said, it's happening inside of us. And so
yes,
that's what I'm saying is that regardless of what's going on, we can either give power up to it, or we can
yes,
retain and expand our own power.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Now,
that's true.
this second book that you're writing, what's the subtitle? It's Global Awakening.
The
What's the
next
sub?
step in human evolution.
Yeah. So
Bec-
what's that going to be about? What is that? Is that talking about the present, or is it talking about 10 years from now, or what is it?
no, I think it's totally about the present,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people are experiencing new things that are not only depending on their senses anymore, like they used to do, the five senses, but they get information automatically. They get mystical experiences. It's all over the place. So I really see it as a next step in the human evolution, that we are coming from more physical 3D dimensional beings to more energetic.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We watched Interstellar, the movie Interstellar. Have you
Oh
seen that?
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
We actually watched it about a week ago, and then we had some things occur, and we thought we need to watch it again. So we watched it again last night, and that what I came away from was like, well, of course. they talked about the science and the spirituality in a sense, but in the middle there was love, right? Which couldn't be
Yeah.
explained, and it's like that's all there is. And then in
Yeah.
that movie, that portal created in that room was because of the love
In the
connection.
library.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So then
It's a
that
great
portal's created in the because of the love connection between that daughter and the father. But then also the other thing that I loved about it too was the fact that they made it happen. Like they kept talking about in the movie they, and they'd say, "Who is they?" And they'd say, "We don't know who they is." But in the end of it, they were saying they did it themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And I really liked that part of it. I thought it was a very good movie, and I don't really watch movies.
Yeah.
So
So
how?
you mean that we create our own reality? That's what
Well, I think
its meaning or
yeah,
something.
almost like too that we're from. We know it's not linear, but like from our futures coming back to help
Oh yeah.
us now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and what about, you talked a little bit about Annette and your mushroom trip.
Yeah.
We still need to get her on one day.
Yes. I think she's
So,
ready for it now because she's totally going on the spiritual plane now.
it must
And
be the
that is
mushroom.
something because
It
she's
must have been the
really
mushroom.
rebellic about it.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
It must. It must have been the mushroom trip.
Yeah, that really helped. We went through some stages. And what I also do now is microdosing. Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah, I've only done it like maybe for a week. I did it a couple times for a week.
Yeah,
What are you
it's
doing it? What are you doing it with? With LSD or psilocybin?
with psilocybin, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But
that's interesting.
it's also that Olympic athletes
Yeah,
are using that because they get
absolutely.
more, their body is more aligned, their reflexes are better, their thought patterns
Well,
are,
it's an
it's
integration of
amazing.
the mind, and the body, and the spirit.
Yes, yes.
And so if microdosing, I mean, they're using psilocybin for PTSD. They're using MDMA
Yeah,
for PTSD. So there's no question. I think I saw somewhere that I think it was Canada that just legalized it. I don't know. Now,
yeah,
what I was getting at was, so we also talked last year on the many shows we did. We talked from time to time about being in a divine conscious relationship, going through this transition and all the ups and downs and all the ins and outs of that. How's that part of it? Now I know, like you were just saying, she was not on a different path, but you were more into the what you were calling the spirituality. Maybe she was. I think you used to say she gets it, but she doesn't do certain things or whatever. How's this evolved? How's your relationship evolved, and what's it
yeah,
been like?
yeah. I see a deepening of the relationship. And I know now from my former relationship, I was really into the spirituality and growing because after an awakening, yeah, of course, that's all I think people live for then. They want to share it, they want to talk about it. But yeah, you cannot, of course, not uh, push it onto someone. They have to come by themselves.
Yeah.
So and I see that sometimes that in the relationship when she worries she's watching things that are sort of mind hypnotizing, like very simple things. How do you call that? TV programs that are not
You mean like
feeding the soul. Yeah. And
yeah.
but then I let it go, and then it comes anyway because people are trying to avoid the pain or the they have inside the fear, and then they but
Distraction.
yeah, distract from it. But once you go through that, once you feel the sadness and the anger and all the emotions that go with it, it can heal.
So
And
what you're saying is that you might observe her watching a program, being in distraction, and instead of saying anything, you just allow her space, and you're
yes,
saying that she's getting there anyway.
Yes, because out of my masculine side, I would, because sometimes you see it when people are in a sort of a destructive pattern and they're in sort of a misery and complaining, and you see the reasons why, but you cannot solve it for them. They have to go through it themselves, and it takes some time to take that path.
Yeah.
So I have to allow that to happen. But also with my ex-wife, which the one I'm doing the ceremonies with the truffles, with the psilocybin with, she also came now to a more greater understanding of it on her own.
Yeah.
Not because I pushed her or I told her to watch this and this and this, and that doesn't work.
Yeah.
For me, I guess. But maybe that's the enthusiasm and the yeah. How do you experience that in your?
Experience what?
Now I'm distracting. I'm distracting for my own situation.
Yeah.
Put it in your shoes. Yeah.
No, I think it's been an evolution. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I was just I was the more distracted one. I was the distracted
really?
one. Yeah. Because I mean, you got to remember Morgan had been doing this stuff for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So the first time she came over was 2017, summer of 2017, and I was I was out there traveling around and living out of a suitcase, and she came all the way over on a mission.
Wow.
Not to have a romantic relationship. Her higher self told her,
so
you need to go over there and you need to straighten him out.
Wow. Yeah. Great.
So there was about I think there was about 5 weeks that she worked with me intensely every day.
Yeah.
And I think after the first 4 or 5 days, she went outside and told her higher self, what the hell am I doing here?
Yes.
But so she was getting that, just the same type of guidance you've talked about, the voice that you got, the same type a lot of us have, gotten. Hers was stronger. But so my point is, yeah, I was unaware in many degrees and distracted. So she was a really, and has been a really good guide. But
Yeah.
I've started to, especially recently, we've been together since December the 7th in Kauai. And so I had arrived about 5 or 6 weeks prior. And so I had quite a few experiences alone on the island, but that involved dragons and really always a mother goddess energy.
Yeah,
It
there's
was never
energy in the lava or something, yeah? In the volcano over there, in the
I don't know.
goddess energy, goddess.
I don't know.
Her name, but
I just kept seeing dragons, and I kept getting these. And so then she came, and then we've had quite a few experiences. But I think I'm getting, as a reflection of the masculine collective energy. I think I've definitely made quite a bit of progress. And I think collectively that masculine energy is making some progress, very big progress. Yeah. We had a lady on yesterday, Annie Zumo, and she said with the 21st, she's keeps track of all that stuff. She said one of the things she saw was that the real sacred masculine frequency would be rising, from coming out of this eclipse, that this was going to be a very noticeable thing. So I'm encouraged by that.
Eclipse?
January 21st.
Okay. Yeah. I notice also that a lot of men are interested more in it and more open to watch it. They don't start to laugh anymore. Even my friends who are from very tough backgrounds are open to it. And usually when they are alone with me, then they talk about their feelings and everything. So that is also a change that is happening.
Yeah, we did a show yesterday. We have a couple of guys that are helping me with the Soulogy website that we've been working on, and so we had a meeting yesterday, and there's 3 of us, and and so I'd been through a little bit of stuff in the previous couple of days, and I guess they had too, and I didn't know it. So I asked one, "How you doing?" And he said, "Oh my God, you know, I'm I've just had the hell beat out of me."
Yeah.
And he'd been crying for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Like he
Wow.
said, like I've never cried before.
Yeah.
Then the other one, I said, "How you been doing?" He said, "Well, you know, if you'd have seen me for the last 2 hours, I wasn't very manly."
Wow.
Anyway, to make a long story short, we just said, "Look, why don't we just not talk about work? And it's nice to be able to exchange, uh, our emotions or what's going on in our life. And why don't we just not think about work for a few days? But this has been nice talking to each other."
Yes.
So I said, why don't we do it again? If anybody needs to reach out, because I've never done that. I've never said to a guy, "Hey, if I'm not feeling too good, can I call you and talk to you about it?"
Yeah. Yeah.
so so I get off
But it's really a
uh,
brave thing to do. But yeah.
well, that's my whole
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
so and I've been doing shows, I mean, like 3, 4, 5 a day for I don't even know, 6, 7, 8 days.
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of energy. So I get off. I'm already half brain dead anyway, because I got to, kind of like balance and go to the next show. So then Morgan heard the end of the conversation. She walked in and she said, "Y'all should do a show." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, we'll do that." And then she's like, "Right now."
Ah,
and I
great.
and I
Yes.
thought, well, yeah, capture that moment. But my point is when Paul, handwriter, he said, "If you'd have seen me for the last couple of hours, I wasn't very manly." And I said to him, I said, "It's exactly what you were." But it, I didn't really, I was kind of in and out on the show. I was listening to them. There's a lot of energy being going around. I'd been going through a lot of energy. And I saw, what I did see was the burying of the soul. And I also saw how difficult it is
Yeah.
for a man to do that.
Yeah.
Michael did a very good job of just saying, "Here's what I went through." Paul did the same thing. I did a little bit. I was in and out, and I realized later on reflection that it's a built-in. It's not really a reaction. It's a pattern. It's a pattern where we're not even
Yeah.
we haven't been able to say, "Hey, my feelings are hurt,"
Yeah.
or we'd rather say, "Hey, what the fuck did you say?" you
Yeah.
know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we know. We don't know, "Hey, you hurt my feelings, man."
Yeah. We really have to
Like,
learn that. Yeah.
or "I'm really angry," or we talked about it yesterday about how the man is always trying to accomplish something for
Yeah.
her, for
Yes.
family, for love, and how so many times we we do this and we end up, it doesn't work and we feel
No.
stupid.
The
you know,
intention is good, but yeah, then we
yeah,
lose contact
exactly.
with,
That's
and then
exactly right.
all the miscommunication comes. So that would be great to do that. Yeah. I
Mm,
already saw you opening a couple of times in the show when you showed your tears and your feelings. That was also
mm,
very inspiring for
mm.
me. So I think that's really a relief for a lot of men to do that.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
also a
think that, yeah.
therapeutical effect.
As what?
A therapy sort of like of effect
Yeah.
if you do that.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. And I think too, we were talking about being on this path, being on this path where we've all had that awakening on a personal level. And like for me, I was told Soulogy, and then I was told go for a walk, go start walking and talk to the
yeah,
universe. And then, and so you have this 3D life, and then you have this whatever 5D awakening life. And
yeah,
how from a man's perspective, how that's been, you
yeah,
know because you haven't seen a lot of that. You've seen a lot of the feminine. They've led the way. You've
yeah,
seen a lot of their post and all that for these last few years. You see
yeah,
some men, but I think getting back to what you said, it's which is what I've always liked about you. it's raw. So the raw is the laughing at yourself. The raw is maybe sometimes you get upset and you cry. The raw is the no bullshit, no Billy Badass, no funny guy, like you say, and just saying, here's where I'm at, or I don't know what the hell's going on, or whatever.
Yeah. The transparent.
Yeah, that's a good
and
word.
I think that's how women can understand this, and other men too, of course, because it's all hidden behind all kind of layers that are, but
Well,
we keep
remember,
peeling it away.
I remember talking to you, and we talked about this, and I remember saying to you, a woman walks into a workout club or a yoga studio, and there's 10 women there, and she might know 2 of them, and she could walk in and say, I'm having a problem, or my boyfriend's an asshole, or whatever, and all that support's there. But if a man were to, in the past, walk into a locker room and say, "Hey guys, can you help me? I'm having a problem with my wife," they would laugh. They would laugh.
I automatically start laughing now too, but it's really a sad thing. Yeah.
That's my point, man.
Yeah.
So
and that keeps us from making real contact, because it's so easy to make a joke about things.
But, and like I said, I don't think it's a reaction. I think it's a pattern. But to your point, I think that the more that's seen, the more that frequency is seen, with as many frequencies added to it as possible, the video, the audio, the color, the music, whatever it is, the more that's going to expand. It only makes sense. It's only
because everyone recognizes when they hear it. So
I notice over the last few days, especially, an expansion in the energy that I call Soulogy, the people that watch, the people that make up the energy. It's not just the people on the screen. And one of the things I've noticed over the last few days is some of my male friends from years back who didn't know this part of me, who didn't know. They knew I was on the streets. They knew I had the spiritual experience, but they never heard me talk about it. And I noticed them popping in on these shows.
Wow.
so
but sometimes they don't even they are so programmed or sort of that they don't even can see it or hear it, what is being said. So that's a very wonderful thing, that it's getting through now, that the seed is falling in them.
And it's got to be pushed. I think it's got to be pushed. I mean, you talk about, I remember you talking about your Kundalini experience, and having an orgasm in your pants, and laughing about this thing that you did or that thing you did, and I think that these are the things that, it's not going to be like this deep philosophical, thought and phrase and cliche and story. It's just being real, and being able to being able to be real, and being comfortable. We sit here and talk about Soulogy being a platform for the voices of the Mother Goddess, which has been suppressed in all of us. I know the voice you heard was a feminine voice when you woke up. But at the same time, where's a safe place for men to get out there and not be ridiculed? Because I think that was the big thing that held us back, was the whole, they're going to make fun of me, or you know what I mean? Even when we were little boys, remember how that, when you're coming up, I mean, that was always a big deal.
Then that's how you get formed, and you build a personality that is not real. But what you said also about the philosophical thing, that's also what I notice a lot, that it can become very mental, the spiritual concept. And that is also what helped with psilocybin or some active way of communicating, or that helps a lot to keep the body and the spirit and the mind in touch with everything. So
I think
I think the body is maybe more the feminine side, and the mind is more the or yeah, now I'm saying something wrong maybe, but
Mm,
I'm just associating or
no,
making
I can see where you're going with that. Yeah, I can
because
see.
of the
Yeah,
disconnection people make. And
yeah,
male especially, they can be very logical, analyzing, but it can become very cold.
yeah,
And women, yeah, are more into the body, more into the
yeah,
senses, the feelings,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the love. And but if it works together, then it's perfect. Then it can move into the world, into the 3D realm, and also
yeah,
into the. I think that's also important to make the next step, that it's all working together.
yeah,
And yeah, that's why it's so important. So
yeah,
you see more men now also because there are a lot of men on the show,
yeah.
and they're very open to you. So I think you also give them the trust to do that, and yeah, that's how it will unfold itself in the
Yeah, I think the numbers are increasing. There's no doubt about it.
yeah
But at the same time, the number of women stepping up is increasing big time. I think the ones that have been in the background for 15, 20 years, it's amazing to me. You know, having met Morgan and then hearing her story, because I had no clue. You know, I just came off the street and I thought I was a poet, and I
well
thought
you are yeah
yeah, you know, and I thought I didn't know what I was doing. But then I start meeting these people and understanding, you know, first through her story and then through many other people, like Ramona Lappin, who was on yesterday. Um, so many of them, and they're 15, 20 years, and they're getting this straight intel, you know, which you've gotten and I've gotten and we all get, but they're getting these distinct sacred wisdom messages, you know, writing stuff down year after year, day after day, and in total anonymity, in solitude, in isolation, in you know,
yeah
estranged from families, and you know,
yeah yeah
and
yeah yeah
and yet it, you know, now they start coming out,
yeah. I
and
think that's very important because
that's a yeah,
they
that's a
can go sit
powerful.
in the Himalayas and meditate, but it's important to share it because we're
Yeah,
all involved in
yeah,
this, and
yeah.
yeah, in fact,
Well, and
there
I
is
think
no other.
yeah.
So
Well, and I think too that the because we're talking male female here, but we're really talking energy, you
yes,
know,
of
frequency,
course,
and but I
yeah,
think that a big part of that happening is the, you know, we talked about this on the show yesterday with the two guys, which was basically in order to find that sacred masculine, you've got to be castrated, demasculated, you know, have your balls cut off, and
yeah,
until you
but
have nothing left. And but I think what's happening is that that masculine we thought we were, the one you always talked about, had to fall to allow her to come out and start talking.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. The masculine has taken control, but also out of a good essence or
yeah,
meaning, but yeah. And but yeah, that's what I also see because that's why I also do those ceremonies and workshops with a woman always to keep the balance.
yeah,
But
yeah,
what I see when a woman grows in confidence and gets more self-esteem, that they also make more testosterone in their
yeah,
body, so they also start to relive what I noticed the masculine side, and
yeah,
they can go sometimes further than the man. When men say, "Well, it's enough now," they can like they have to sometimes keep up with some stuff or some take some things that they have missed
yeah,
in
yeah.
their so I think, but I think in essential is the energy inside of us.
Sure.
The feminine
Yeah,
side is in us. The masculine side
yeah,
is inside of us in us. And
yeah,
when it's balanced, then we can see the other one as also a person with those energies, and we don't have to take it from them. what we lack, because it's also all inside of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then I think too, because we're still human, and we're
And
physically incarnated as a specific gender.
yes,
And
and
so
I think the worst thing to do is to feel guilty or ashamed that we are men.
Yeah.
We're just as divine as
Yeah.
as anything.
Yeah.
So,
Very true. Very true.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the masculine side with the testosterone and the balls is also a very divine and godly being when it is whole and when it is not frustrated and when it is
When it
total and real.
when it relaxes.
Yeah.
When,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
one of
yeah.
the things we talked about yesterday was, and you can apply this to the bedroom, the boardroom, any part of your life, and that is when he's not hung up on performance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's also something because I'm 51 now and I didn't make love for I don't know exactly because I was always performing. I was sort of doing a workout to yes.
I
I
know what you
didn't.
mean.
Yeah.
It was a long time for me too, but I still remember.
Yeah.
Well, we
But
talked
now
about
that's
that. Yeah.
total new experience when you
Yeah.
are your bodies and your soul.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. It is.
many guys or men don't know that.
I'm just learning it, and so, but you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. It's like there doesn't have to be a happy ending. There doesn't have to be
No.
a set routine. There doesn't have
Yes.
to be traditional uh, acts, and I mean, it's a total different ball game.
Yeah.
And what I'm finding out is that because the intimacy can be holding a hand, it can be lightly touching her
Yeah.
back, it can be running your fingers through her hair, it can be whatever. But what happens is when it occurs naturally, uh, you know, there's always this big shift afterwards. There's always something happens, like a visitation or something always occurs. So there's
Yeah.
something to be said for that
Yes.
when that occurs between two people.
Yeah. It's a magical experience. And at
Mhm.
first, we were thinking about reaching some endpoint, and I think the man is
Mm.
programmed like that to reach a
Very
certain
much
goal.
so. Very
Because
much
and
so.
then you're not in the moment and you're missing the
Mhm.
whole holy experience.
Yeah.
So and a
And
lot of
yeah.
people are they don't even know. They don't even know what we're talking about.
Mm-mm.
The average man in the street.
Yeah.
I
Well, I mean,
think
yeah. I mean,
what
it's
my
yeah.
experience is.
No, I agree, and I'm speaking
Yeah,
from a very active you know uh, sex life up until 7 years ago, and then being celibate for 4 or 5 years, 5 years almost, and then being in a relationship where it's a totally different ball game.
yeah,
And so every step, I mean, the first night, we shared a bed, and we stayed celibate for the first 22 weeks we were
yeah.
together,
But
basically.
it gets so intimate when you're
Yeah,
touching on a deeper level that
yeah. But it's
yeah,
like that whole mind thing. That just shows you how deep the programming is. Because where is the programming going to hit you the most as a man? At the end of the day, if I can step into my power in the bedroom, then I'm a man.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
this is
yeah.
a different ball game. So,
Yes,
so what I'm saying is that you know every step of the way for me has been a learning experience, because that goddamn chatterbox was in my head. Oh,
yeah,
you need to do this. Oh, you need to do that. Oh, what about this? Are you good enough? Did you do? And like, go
yes,
away.
yeah,
And that voice has gone away. So it's like starting all over.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a rebirth, of course. Yes.
yeah. It's like
And
starting all over.
yeah,
And it is magical, and there is magic involved with it. And that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Every time there's which can be just from anything. It can be just taking a drive, walking on the beach, and that's another thing. I don't know how you feel, but
yeah,
we there seems to be a lot accomplished non-verbally, and I'm
yes.
talking about just in the ordinary things of life. Just
Especially, yes, the ordinary thing
yeah,
of life
doesn't
in life.
doesn't yeah, it doesn't have to. The man always wants to explain everything and da 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 da.
Yeah,
Just shut the fuck up, and just
yeah.
okay. That energy of silence is
Wow,
powerful, man.
so deep. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
nothing
amazing. Yeah,
nothing
yes,
has to be said. Yeah,
yeah.
nothing has to be said. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's that's another thing I think that and I've talked to men about this, privately, and they're like, "Oh, you out of your mind?
Yeah,
You're crazy. You're
yeah,
insane. What's the matter with you?"
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
But yeah,
I,
that's in it for thousands of years, of course.
hmm
So the
yeah,
programming, so it's
yeah.
not so easy to deprogram it. Yeah,
No, and that's some deep stuff, man. I
yeah,
mean that's some deep stuff. Literally judging ourselves on what we're not, you know,
yeah,
you know. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I mean, uh, yeah. That's a big breakaway, I think.
yeah,
Yeah. But I see more and more and more men. If Soulogy's started at 75% women, 25% men, now it's 65-35. And I see
yeah,
more and more men making comments and stepping forward, and
uh,
that's reflective of the collective.
yeah. That's great. Yeah, then there's also a natural balance going on in the
Yeah.
collective.
Yeah.
So yeah, it used to be that especially women were looking for some more in life because, of course, I think they couldn't find that at home, the union or something, and they try to find it on a more spiritual level.
Yeah.
But I think in a few years, a man cannot even be taken serious when he is not evolved on that level
Yeah.
or open towards that.
And it's a lot of weight to carry too. I'd say that.
Yeah, it's a
I'd say
responsibility.
I'd say that there was a lot more uptight men walking around than there was uptight women. They had the
Yeah,
intuition. They had the, like you said, the feeling and in touch with the body, which is really more than just the physical body. But
yeah,
the thing is we were wound up so tight.
yeah,
So the whole, the whole everything in our life was like built around the same energy of the old 3D sexual performance. It was a
yeah,
build up. It was a climax, a release, and I'm a man.
yeah,
I proved myself, and then you get up the next day, and you're right where you
yeah,
started before. You're still
yeah,
this
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
little this little uh,
Insecure.
being, yeah,
Yeah,
being that's arrogant on the outside, insecure on the inside, that still doesn't feel they've done enough,
yeah,
and that's the part of us that we can shed together, I think, through talking about it.
yeah. And that's also nice because the most beautiful and most valuable, most holy thing in life we cannot control or build or win because it is love and it's
Yeah, yeah,
non-material, non-physical on a certain deeper level. So yeah, in our masculine perspective, we want to control it or show it or carry it around us. But yeah, I think we can only be it. So
yeah. It's
yeah,
it's scary
and
when
yeah,
that pure love really comes at you.
whoa, yeah,
As a man coming
be,
out of that bullshit, you're like, well, first of all, you got to learn to trust it.
yes, yes, and
You're
that's
like,
where I have a question because I was thinking, could it be maybe that when we were born, that out of our mother, we felt one with our mother, and then we were born, and then
mhm,
suddenly, hey, we have to find it out on our own. is that maybe where we felt betrayed on an unconscious level by the feminine energy, and that we lost our trust? Is it maybe going that deep? Is that possible? That was just a thought of me, but
I don't know, man.
yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
remember it either.
I
But
don't know. The thing that I see, and I actually hear men saying this. Now, I thought it was just me for a long time. I knew when I woke up 7 years ago. One of the first things I knew was that I had to make peace with the divine feminine, and I had no fucking idea how to do it. But I had this progression of interactions with women, primarily online, and
yeah,
just meet people, and it was like a stair step, and
yes,
it was a long process. But I realized that it affected my level of trust. It affected my level of love. You know, it affected my level of being able to function in society because I couldn't even talk to that frequency. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yes,
anything that would even have, and the thing is, of course, that all equated into myself. And
yeah,
it wasn't until I really made some great strides after meeting Morgan when I started to understand that that it was really me.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I wasn't mistrusting her, the frequency of the feminine. I was mistrusting myself. Well, because I didn't recognize
Well,
our
yeah.
own that part of me,
Yeah,
because
because
I
that's where the
was.
pain is. So it's
Yeah,
difficult to go there, because then you have to experience it again.
yeah,
The
yeah,
the the hurt of being left
yeah,
alone or abandoned, or
yeah,
yeah,
or betrayed.
yes, yes,
That was a big one. It's like I was just
yeah.
like,
It's
I
the
think
worst.
she gave me the exercise one time when we first met. It was like, when were you betrayed? And then it was like, when did you betray? I was like, oh
Oh,
shit. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So you're trying to make this list longer than that list. Okay. Well, because everything's perspective. And if you start to put yourself in someone else's shoes, even if your intention wasn't to do that, that's
yeah,
not the question. The question is not what was your intention. The question is, when did you betray someone? So that
yeah,
could be many things. I mean, I had a divorce, my first marriage. I betrayed my three kids. Did I betray that woman? Did I betray family? I mean, it becomes like a very, a long list.
yeah,
And so, yeah, I think,
yeah,
I don't know that we have to relive all that pain and everything, but you gotta at least be open to, the energy that you've projected out there.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and I think the main reason, because I also had some experience like that, is that in the first place, I I found out that I betrayed myself, and that's
Yeah.
why I did those things and projected all that on towards the other. I saw as the betrayal, the betraying factor,
Yeah.
but I did it first to myself, because I wasn't myself anymore, and wasn't vulnerable anymore, and was playing a sort of an act.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
yeah, so
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
The Billy badass.
yeah, yes, yeah,
Well, it's like that. It's like, what is that saying? You know, you become that which, you weren't, basically.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
how I looked at my journey. My journey was, I know I was different. And then, as you're growing up as a little boy, I told this story yesterday, getting the breath knocked out of me, 4 years old, and 2, 3 times by the same kid. And my brother took me down to his house and said, "You need to knock on his door and beat his ass, or I'm going to beat yours." And so then you have to make a choice there, and you either go one way or the other.
yeah,
You either go totally into, like a lone wolf type of, to yourself, weirdo, or you fall into line with the rest of them. you
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah,
that was all about competition and who's badder, and
yeah,
who can be the biggest hellraiser, or the funniest guy, or You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's some deep
And
shit.
it's so sad and so lonely when people are in all those acts together. Yeah, and not connecting because that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
But
think
it's a
that's
long journey.
yeah. I think that's the biggest thing now too. You know, after the last couple of days, that's what I see. I see like the biggest thing for the masculine. I love Miguel Dean's term, sacred masculine. So
Sacred masculine.
for the sacred masculine to rise and that frequency to expand in each and every one of us, regardless of your gender, but the biggest representation of that energy in our face and the physical reality are men. So it's really, and I know it sounds, and I don't care. You know, it's like time to come out. It's like
Yeah,
time to say, hey, I was I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. I was this, I was that, I was this, I was that. I failed this, I did this, I did that,
yeah,
and own it all, understanding that none of it makes us who we were. No failure, no success makes us who we really are. It's
yeah.
not, you
No,
know.
it has nothing to do with it.
And I think the more men talk about it, you know, the better off this, or the more expansive this energy will be, you
Yeah,
know.
then it's going to be a collective rebirth. So that's great. Very healing. This
Yeah,
conversation also. It's a
yeah,
softening for me conversation.
yeah.
Yeah,
Me too, me too.
yeah,
So I mean, this is um yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, I talk
yeah.
about things that I never thought I'd talk about in
No,
on camera. And there's been a couple of times, you know, you referred to a couple of videos. I had crises, or I had, but this is my life. You know, this is what I've been doing, and that's another thing. We hit that wall as men. Say, you know, everything that I believed in, everything that I thought was real, it's not there.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm not taking anything away from the. I'm just saying the masculine journey is different, has been different, and we're
Yeah,
not victims, and we're, like you said, we're just as divine, and we're not victims either. You know what I mean? I mean, we're the same, but the journey's been a little bit different, and I don't think it's been talked about enough. And I
no,
think the
absolutely not.
best way, yeah, the best way is to actually, like this.
Yeah,
You
to
know, it
show
just,
it, not
yeah, just,
mentalize
yeah,
everything, but really
yeah,
out of an authentic voice,
yeah,
like you were sharing it. Because I
yeah,
think you also represent the alpha male, and of
yeah.
course the people expect that from you, maybe from, and that's also what encourages it to. That's why it's extra brave that you show your soft side, your
Mm.
emotions, your
Your flaccid penis.
vulnerability. Yeah, what? Yeah, flash the penis.
Well, yeah. I mean, right. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
metaphor, but
yeah,
you know, but that's real. You know,
yeah,
I mean, it's real. It's like butt naked. You know, just butt
yeah,
naked to the soul, and you know, I still say one of the most powerful things that ever happened to me was when I was on the streets and I heard the universe tell me very clearly, just act like the whole world will know everything you've ever done. And I did a lot. I did some crazy shit. And but it was so liberating because I knew what that message was. I knew that message was there's nothing left unknown, you know. I mean, there's
yeah,
nowhere to hide.
yeah,
You know, and I think that's that again, you know, women have been more supportive of each other. They listen to each other. Men don't even fucking listen. All they want to do is talk. So,
yeah, 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 yeah,
so you know, as that feminine comes into power within yourself, then it takes on the attributes of the women that I'm referring of the
yeah,
women in general that I'm referring to. And I've noticed that in myself. You know, I've always been a big talker, and I'm talking less. I'm allowing people to talk more. It had to be conscious at first. I didn't understand it, you know, but now like I had a show yesterday with a man who'd never been on camera before. It's a great show. Y'all should watch it. Lawrence Wendell. Fascinating,
Okay.
fascinating story. I didn't say a word for the first 25 minutes.
Wow.
And that's not typical, but everything is natural. And I think, getting back to what I was saying, that's only possible because, I don't
becoming
have
more
to.
receptive.
Yeah, because
feminine.
the feminine part of me is coming into congruence, or
Yeah,
acceptance,
great.
or trust, or again, you talked about at the top of the show, externalizing and focusing on or blaming other people, or doesn't matter
Yeah.
what you're doing. If you're focusing on them, it's your energy's over there, versus owning it within yourself. That's another powerful thing.
Yes.
One of the things that I talked to Morgan about a few days ago, or at least I heard it for the first time. They were actually registered in my head. And she said, and I said to her, God, the first time you came over, I was a mess. I didn't have any money. I was fucked. You know what I mean? And she worked with me. And I was like, well, how did you deal with that? And she was like, well, I owned everything that you were. I owned it in my own
Wow.
masculine within myself. And I started thinking,
Yeah.
well, wow. So that's another thing that's occurred for me over the last, probably over the last 3 or 4 or 5 months, has been being able to own other, the behavior of other people, not getting hung up on, oh my God, they did this, oh my God, they did that, but actually just understanding that, that's
Yeah.
a reflection of me. And
Yeah.
if I hold judgment or whatever I hold in myself, then it's on me.
Something
It's
inside. Yeah. Always. Yeah.
it's going to restrict
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. And also
So
that is a good thing to be open about that, because instead of carrying it with us and feeling guilty about it, because maybe it's also a natural human thing, or a thing that is grown, and to unwind it, it's good to be open about that, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
so what are you going to be up to here next? Are you doing anything? Are you rolling the book out soon, or what?
yeah, I'm living in the moment always,
Yeah.
so I don't know exactly. But
Yeah.
I think we have on March another psilocybin ceremony. I'm going to do that once a month. I don't
Oh,
want to do
you're
that.
doing the psilocybin once a month.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
And yeah, I made the School of Awareness. Did I tell you that already?
No,
No.
no, 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 no.
School of Awareness. I can send you the link. It's also, we're going to do workshops on Ibiza. It's also with a feminine and a masculine, and then we're going to give workshops
Oh, wow.
with all kinds of
Very cool.
things. Make the journey a bit bigger. Yeah.
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 Very
Yeah, and
cool.
of course the book, but I'm not sure if people have time anymore to read books. What do you think? Because in this multimedia world,
I you know what? Honestly, I think that obviously people should do whatever they think they should do, feel they should do. But I think that we're, like you said earlier, in the theme of the second book, that it's a new world. It's a world beyond our 5 senses.
yeah,
There's more and more evidence every day of the non-physical, energetic effects of our actions and our thoughts, particularly.
yeah, well,
So
yes,
I also believe very strongly that anything that we do, whether there's 45 people watching you or nobody, just you and the universe in your own room, writing, dancing, singing, expressing your soul, these things affect every single soul,
Yeah.
human and not, walking the face of the earth, and in all dimensions. So
Yeah.
I think that the energy or the knowledge or the wisdom or the purity or the communication or the communion that's put out by somebody is there to be received by everybody.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
doesn't have to be broadcast. I don't know. That's a tough question. I agree with what you said at first too. I don't know. I'm just operating in the now. We've been trying to put this Soulogy website together and
Yeah.
stream a channel, one channel to start, and it's been an MF. So, but it's been difficult because of the the masculine mental mind that's been trying to frame it up, control it, and thereby constricting it instead of allowing it to flow
Yeah.
with that magic, that non-physical, etheric energy, pure
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So
Also, there you cannot force it, and
yeah.
it's nice to let it be born from the masculine through the masculine inside to the feminine inside the world, and then allow it to happen. But also, this is of course an evolutionary process. You've been going to in the last 12 years or 7 years, or since when you
Who, me?
started? Yeah.
7 years. 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
7.5. Yeah. 7.5 years now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that seems.
They say that every 7 years the cells in a human body are renewed.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Somebody said something like that on the other show. Monique Kendra said that she's just ending or entering. I guess it'd be the same thing, a 7-year cycle.
So
If that's true, and I
yeah.
could say, to me, this feels like the beginning of a new cycle to me.
Yeah.
If I look at the first 7 years, it seems like it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will see the 21st of January. That's going to be very. It's going to be intense. Is that the blood moon or the?
It's a red blood wolf eclipse.
Okay.
Moon eclipse. I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's beginning tomorrow through the 21st. There's 5 planets in their home constellation or whatever, and then there's a period from the 17th through the 5th of March that sounds really incredible, which is there's no planets in retrograde, and so
No planets. So it's a sort of a chaos kind of state.
It's actually a chaos-free state, I think. Here, let me I actually there was several. Morgan sent me a post. I found a post. Here it is. So 0 planets in retrograde, and thanks to Jen McCarty at the event is happening. All major planets in our solar system are now traveling direct. This will change on March the 4th or 5th, when Mercury will go into retrograde. But up until that point, okay, so this means we're now in a rare portal of opportunity and possibility where we are capable of creating and manifesting whatever we choose to focus on. This is a magical chapter. So use this powerful cosmic flow to set transformational intentions, start new projects, break habits, make life-changing decisions, and begin anew. We are in a period of amazing luck, fortune, peace, harmony, alignment, a time when wishes come true. Dream big and know the universe is supporting you. That's what I get out of it. What I get out of it is that, on my own personal level, I get out of it that we've gotten rid of not all, but enough of the illusion to keep our thoughts pure and aligned and in our heart. And just by virtue of that, we're going to attract things, and not to limit ourselves and make those plans and when do I write the book or when do I open the website. No, just like you said, in the now, day by day. So
and that's also nice that it went to that stage to get there, and then the physical stuff follows what's happening internal, because it's in line now.
And I think the men must be making some progress, because I don't feel stupid anymore. You look back at some of the stuff and you're like, God, I was stupid. Like how did you not know? Like, wake up. But that was the condition. And so, that I think the big thing there is that the less self-deprecating judgment we had, obviously the more love we have for ourselves. So
and the knowledge is also so limited towards everything there is, because that's I think unfathomable for the brain to perceive it in this moment. So
baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. Yeah.
That's fair. Well, we should do this again. We should start doing it again, like we did last year. Yeah, we're doing. Yeah, I'm in the same boat you are. I thought we had done our last broadcast on Be Live, Facebook interface, and couldn't pull it off. And that's another thing. That's another thing too. I back to your question about the book or a website or anything. I decided 2, 3, 4 days ago. Well, first of all, there's no linear time, and that has to go away. That means there's no deadlines. There's no pressure. That's all bullshit. And then the other thing is, if it can't be halfway done. It can't be half of the dream that you, or the image, or the epiphany that you were given.
No, that's
okay. It has to be the right way.
Yeah. Just like with a bird, you cannot be born half and be half dead and half alive. So it has to be total.
Yeah. I talked to a lady yesterday, Annie Zumo. She just got her website done. It's been going on since 8 years, but she was very happy with it. She was beautiful. It's what she wanted. So that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So
I think what people, they also want to be too perfect before they. But I think that can also adapt in doing it, and that's also a great learning experience. So
the raw part.
The raw.
The raw part. And what I was getting at was that so this forum is going to continue. We're still working on it, and we're back on using this method for now. And so we should do something, like we have been in the past. It's always good talking to you. And maybe you can you and Annette can take some psilocybin and come on the screen together.
Yeah. Annette talks a lot about you always. But I think she's almost ready to say something.
Well,
that would be nice. Yeah.
Anytime. So tell her hello and thank you.
Yeah, she's to the yoga now.
Oh yeah.
And she, when I met her, she had a hernia, and she had to take an injection to lame the nerve every 3 months. And now it was 8 months, and before she needed another injection. Yeah. And now, since she met me, and now it's already a year since she she doesn't need it anymore, because she noticed now she can also heal her own body, and it's also repressed feelings and being disconnected from the physical. So that's also wonderful.
Yeah.
Well,
that's great. And so I also thank you and her both for your continued love and support and contribution to Soulogy. And so let's touch base. I'm going to be in a little state of a flux in another week or so, but I know everything's going to fall perfectly in place. And then we might have a 3 or 4 day period where we're not broadcasting as much, and then we'll kick it back up 3 or 4 shows a day. I'd like to bring back some of the weekly shows and just keep this thing going.
Yeah.
So we can attract the perfect dream. Right?
Yeah.
All right, brother. I'll see you later.
Okay, see you later. Thank you, Todd.
All right,
very nice talking to you. Really happy.
You too.
Okay, greetings to Morgan also.
I'll